Hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and do a video update on all my tanks. So here's the 20-gallon long, and it's got my Similis in here. It's a Lake Tanganyika cichlid that they're shell dwellers. And you can see that's one of the older fry that's in there. And there's a couple generations actually, if you kind of look around this shell. There's several spawns in here, which is pretty cool. There's one of the older ones right here, and then there's some just swimming around here. So this pair has been raising like in a colony essentially, where there's definitely 3 or 4 generations. And this side, they've bred as well, and there's a very distinct line, like I've kind of said before, but in case you haven't seen, this is a territory, one pair and the other pair. And it works out really well. I don't think that it's too cramped or anything, because they're still breeding. These guys I haven't seen a second spawn from, but their first spawn was pretty big. I mean, they got 5 or 6, which, I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with the Similis, but that's the biggest spawn I've had yet. So that's kind of what's going on in the 20-gallon. Here's one of the 10 gallons, and this has white Calvus fry. These guys are a couple months old, probably 2 months old, and they're still not very big. That's just kind of the nature of white Calvus, is they just don't grow that fast. But they're starting to look like little fish, finally. And then in this tank, this is another 10-gallon. If you look kind of right over there, that's a Caudapencatus, and then some of these other ones, if it'll focus, are Lalupi. So there's 2 different fry in here that I'm raising up together. I've tried raising these guys with the Calvus, but the Calvus are, I guess, a little more, I want to say, tentative, so they don't eat. They seem to die off just because the Lalupi and Caudos are just a lot more aggressive and will eat all the food before the Calvus even get a chance. But there's a lot of them in here. These guys are also about a couple months old, but they do grow faster. The Caudos will start taking off here in a little bit. And then this tank has a couple angelfish fry. There's one, oh sorry, he's like, you can't really see him very well. Try and find him, yeah. He's right there in the middle of the screen. Not very big at all. There's about 4 or 5 in here. There's another one kind of back there in the middle. They're still pretty young. These are a couple weeks old. And I didn't get that many to survive. It's kind of frustrating. Haven't had a lot of success with angelfish. To me, they seem so much more difficult than these guys, but that's just my experience. But I've raised angelfish. I just got to remember how to do it. I think I have to really focus on feeding them multiple times a day. But I'll do a little video later. And here in the back, those are some really young Caudapencatus fry. They might only be 3 weeks old, and they're doing well. And then this 5-gallon has a whole bunch of angelfish fry. So this is generally what I start with, and lately I've just not been doing well. I've lost 4 or 5 spawns and got them to this stage, and then they slowly die off as they get to that other tank. I don't know why. It's really quite frustrating, but you know, right now these guys seem to be doing real well. I've been feeding them 2 or 3 times a day, baby brine shrimp, and just being, I think I've been keeping the light on a lot longer, pretty much 24/7 in this first week, and I think that's going to help a lot, because it seems like they do fine. I turn the light on, and then every time I look in the morning, there's a little less in there. So I don't know what. There's only snails in the other tank. We'll see how this works. They're also in a 5-gallon instead of a 10-gallon, so it's easier for them to get to the food. I've turned the filter down too, so it's not as aggressive like that, because it seemed like that was hurting it. But I'll give a full video once I kind of get these guys growing out again. But hopefully I can get, you know, a decent amount of angelfish, because this is 2 spawns too, by the way. And I'll show the angelfish pairs that did it in a little bit. And then this is a 20-gallon, just a regular 20-gallon tall. There's a lot of snails in here, which I don't like, and it's kind of annoying. But I do have a lot of albino longfin bristlenose fry. They're doing well. I actually lost a batch that were about this age a month ago on the last spawn, which is really frustrating. I fed them bloodworms, and I think they got a little bloat, and they all just started dying. So I feed them bloodworms when they're a little older, but I overdid it, and yeah, just feeding like baby brine shrimp and algae wafers right now. So that's what's going on here. Alright, I had to rearrange some lights. So here's the 36 gallon. That's my male Cautopen caudus. And then the female is hiding in this shell. Can't see her right now. But this tank has Gelitochromis marleri as well. There's a bunch of fry in here. They spawned, and they seem to do a much better job of keeping their fry alive. I've seen the cautos do it every once in a while, but lately with all these Gelitochromis fry, they haven't been doing it, so that's why I've been pulling the fry. So that's all the fry that you've seen in here, in those 10 gallons a little earlier. And the female and male are in here somewhere, but I don't see them right now. Oh, there's the female Cautopen caudus. They're really pretty fish. They're shell dwellers. They spawn in that shell every time. But they look real good, and they've been a pair for a while. There's the male Gelitochromis. This 20 gallon is currently empty. I had some clown plecos in here. It will focus. But I went ahead and got rid of them. This will just be a grow out once I get angelfish to survive, hopefully. And then this one is another grow out. There's a little algae on the tank, so I apologize. But these are Ventralis Langola fry. And then there's a Parasiprochromis fry. And then the rest, oh, I think there's, yeah. Well, that's a Parasiprochromis. There's Gelitochromis marleri that I pulled out, a couple of them. And then the rest are Lillupi. So this one has a bunch of fish in there too. They seem to be doing well. And I'll turn around and I'll rearrange some lights again. Alright guys, so this is the 37 gallon tall, and I'm sorry about the window in the background and the 225 in the background too. But this is my adult male black angel, and he's paired with this female, which is a marble, and they're doing well. Her fins are a little nicked up. She didn't look good for a little bit, but she's doing a lot better now. She's still spawned about a week ago. That's what some of those fry are, because this is one spawn, and then the second spawn came from these guys. So this is my male, and then this is my female, and she's getting ready to breed. Actually, if you kind of look at her breeding tube down below there, it's a little protruded out, and the males is as well. It's harder to see, but essentially they're gonna lay eggs maybe tonight or tomorrow. They've been looking at leaves and trying to prep it, and these guys have been spawning pretty regularly in every 8 to 10 days. So it's been pretty good. Sadly, like you saw, I don't have a lot of angelfish fry, but I definitely have plenty of opportunities. So we'll see how this goes. And down here I got the 55 gallon, and this has a bunch of Lillupi, as you can see. There's some Cautopen caudus and Calvus. It's kind of the same story, but these guys are anywhere from 6 to 9 months old. Bigger ones being, 9 months old, and they're about 2 inches. And that's the size I like to get the Lillupi, is about 2 inches. The Cautopen caudus I'm okay with selling at 1.5 inches, and the Calvus at 1.5 inches, just because they're smaller fish in general once they get full grown. And I threw my Ventralis male in here too, because he's just been kind of in a pain in the other tank, and I lost a couple. I lost the 2 females, adult females that I had with him too, that spawned some of those fry I just showed you, which is sad. So hopefully I can get those fry to grow out and maybe get another round of Ventralis going, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know if I want to keep them or not, but and I'll just keep moving along here. Alright, this tank has a little algae in the damn window again, but this is the 30 gallon that I have, that I'm using as a grow out. some more Lulupi, some Caudapencatus, but this one has Parasiprochromis, more Parasiprochromis fry. So I'm kind of excited. I'm trying to get these guys to be a bigger colony. And some white Calvis, and there's a Julidochromis in there too. So this tank's doing alright, just kind of grow out tank. And then down here is my breeder tank. This is a 55 gallon. And I got Parasiprochromis in here. Those are 2 young fry that I just started putting in here. That's one of the males. I think that's my female. And here's one of my other males. I think it's very male heavy. There's about 4 males. Oh, there's my female, and she is holding too. So that's pretty exciting. It's kind of hard to see in that video, but she's definitely holding. I threw the extra Similis in here just in case. And then I do have here, this guy's coming out. I do have Firefin Compressiceps in here that are I'm hoping to get spawn. I got 3 of them in here. Haven't seen anything yet, but we'll see what happens. I really haven't watched this tank that much, obviously, because my female is holding, and I just noticed today. But that's really good news. So yeah, hopefully, you know, out of these 3 are all kind of young. Hopefully out of these 3 I get another female, because right now I just have 1 female and, like I said, like 4 males. But I do have 6 or about 10 fry growing out. So, but yeah, and I'd like to get these Firefin Compressiceps growing or breeding. There's one that lives in there, one in that cave, and then one in this Calvis cave over here. So that's what's kind of going on here. But I really love these Parasiprochromis. I think they're beautiful fish. It is one of those things, you get the right lighting and they look even better. But they're just certainly have amazing color. They seem to do decently well in a group. So they're doing all right. I've seen a couple males get beat up, but generally they all seem to get along fairly well for an African cichlid. So that's what's going on in this tank. And there's the female. You can kind of see her mouth is bigger. She's holding. But that's what's going on in this tank, and we'll move on. Alright guys, here's the 75 gallon. A lot of swordtails in here. They've started growing out pretty nicely. Originally I thought I had a bunch of females, because that's the original male. But as they've gotten older, now that one's now that one is developing his swordtail. So that's pretty cool. Is I definitely have a male, and some of these younger ones might turn into males. It takes quite a while actually for them to mature to get their tails. I did not realize that. And that's my female that's been breeding, and my male albino bristlenose pleco. I moved the green lasers in here, or orange lasers, Cory cats. They seem to be doing all right. There's the Siamese algae eater, and there's a couple young bristlenose fry that I'm trying to grow out to be breeders. I've grown out some that look decent, but then they didn't make it during the move. And I also found a longfin calico pleco fry that I had in here, or yeah, not a fry, but just a fish that is just as big as her. So maybe she'll breed with my other longfin albino. But bottom line, and then there's a couple Apistogramma cockatooties, but they've never done anything for me. But that's the 75 gallon. We'll flip over, look at the 125. This tank's doing all right. This is the one that I had some issues with the fry, or with the ventralis just dying on me. But my Lulupi are still doing well. That's my female. She's hanging out over there. That's the cave they've been spawning in under that rock. These young Calvis, white Calvers, are getting big enough to be spawning size. So I'm really excited to see if I get any more out of them. The white, that's an adult female. and she's not that much bigger anymore. And then that's my I think it's a male goby. They're from Carlini Island, I believe. So it's kind of hard to see, and this tank is not lit up very well. But his female, I'm hoping, is like right over here. Man, she's really dark in that picture, but she's over there. There was 3 gobies in there originally, but they got rid of the other one, so I'm hoping that these 2 are a pair. And then these are my young ventralis that are growing out, and I'm hoping that they do well, but we'll see what happens. That's kind of what's going on in this tank. I'm trying to grow out a male, one of these Cauda males, so that you can breed with this female, but I don't know if it'll happen or not. That's pretty much all that's going on here. So we'll go to the 225 here in a sec. Alright, and then last but certainly not least is the 225. The glass still has a little like old algae that I need to clean up, but there are my Bolivian rams in the back there. They're starting to look really good. I got some more blue diamond discus, so I now have 6 of them. And I just got these young ones, or well, they're a little smaller, they're not that much younger, but so we'll see how they do. They got pretty damn good color, in my opinion, for how big they are. They're only like 3 inches diameter. So, and then I got some angels. I just picked up these 2. They're females. That one has a little chopped up fin, but I'm hoping that kind of gets cleaned up as she's in here a little longer, to kind of match up with my males. Because lo and behold, these ones I know are females because I saw them lay eggs in, well, they were eggs that they were guarding in the fish store. So this one, however, that one that I thought was a female is a male, and this one that I think is a female is also a male. So it's really hard to tell, obviously, but these angels are looking good. I also picked up a school of rummy-nosed tetras to throw in here, and they seem to be doing all right. They're doing a great job as dither fish. I'll probably get another dozen, because that's a dozen, and it looks so small in this tank. But they seem to be doing well, and the blue diamonds are looking great. I also did pick up a couple more green phantoms. So there's small ones too, but there is a total of 6 in here now. So I feel like I've got a pretty good chance. And there's one back there. I feel like I got a pretty good chance at getting a pair, or getting some breeding action. So that's kind of what's going on in the 225 and in the fish room. Sorry this was a long video, but I hadn't done an all tank update. That is every tank I have except for maybe a 2.5 gallon that I'm using as a hatching station, but that's pretty much it. One day I would like to get these discus to breed, but for now I'm content just getting them to grow up and look really good in this tank. I'm going to add a lot more plants to this tank, a lot more green, so the blue pops more. I'll put my background in so it's a little better. I might close off those windows for videos, but overall this tank I really like, and get some more rummy nose to kind of get a bigger school. But that's what I got going on, and I like it. I think it looks great, and let me know if you have any comments. Thanks for watching.